Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Proficiency Decoded. This channel helps in decoding the layers of knowledge with ease. Proficiency Decoded brings structured, thoughtful explanations to every topic. Today, I will cover the topic of the China-Taiwan conflict, which plays a significant role in geopolitics. First, I will start with an introduction, followed by the history of the two nations. I will then focus on the international recognition and finally conclude with the conflict scenario and outcome and its threat to international peace. Taiwan is an island in the South China Sea. It is around 36,000 square kilometers. Taiwan is roughly about 141 kilometers from mainland China. The two are separated by the Taiwan Strait. The China-Taiwan conflict is not just a bilateral issue, but a global flashpoint, involving international politics, trade, democracy versus authoritarianism, and regional stability. While Taiwan seeks to maintain its democratic way of life and autonomy, China continues to push for reunification. Any escalation could draw in global powers and disrupt international peace. So why is China obsessed with this little island of Taiwan? Let us dive into the history of these two nations. Taiwan first appeared in Chinese records during the Zhou dynasty. The emperor had sent an expedition, and the navigating explorers spotted Taiwan. From 1624 to 1661, Taiwan became a Dutch colony by the name Alha Formosa. Around 1683, Taiwan came under Chinese rule under the Qing dynasty in the years that followed, and many Chinese migrated to Taiwan. In 1895, taking advantage of the weak rule, Japan attacked Taiwan and captured it during the First Sino-Japanese War. China ceded Taiwan to Japan under the Treaty of Shimonoseki. Taiwan remained a Japanese colony for around 50 years, during which Japan heavily influenced its infrastructure and governance. After Japan's defeat in World War II in 1945, Taiwan was handed over to the Republic of China, ROC, which was then internationally recognized as the Government of China. The leader of the Republic of China was a military general Chiang Kai-shek, who ruled China with an iron fist, similar to a military leadership. This resulted in civil unrest and protests. This was the time Mao Zedong, a communist leader, became popular. His army and supporters fought Chiang Kai-shek's army, and finally in 1949, he established the People's Republic of China. After the Communist Party led by Mao Zedong won the Chinese Civil War, the ROC government led by Chiang Kai-shek fled to Taiwan and continued to operate from there. Taiwan at that time had Japanese infrastructure, and Chiang Kai-shek fled with more than 1 million of his supporters. While moving to Taiwan, Chiang took everything possible, including boxes of gold, clothes, ammunition, boats, etc. Chiang Kai-shek established a parallel government in exile. By 1950, there were two Chinas, one under Chiang's military dictatorship in Taiwan, called the Republic of China ROC, and another under the communist-controlled Mao's China, called the People's Republic of China, and both claimed to be the real China. China's perspective is pretty clear. China is one country, and it views Taiwan as a part of it. Right now, the island governs itself democratically, but its position is that eventually it'll be reunited with the Chinese mainland. The US wasn't exactly a fan of communism, and so it was the ROC in Taiwan that mostly got the international recognition, including a seat at the UN, but by the 1970s, that seat didn't make sense anymore. The UN passed a resolution confirming the representatives from the People's Republic of China as the only lawful representatives of China to the United Nations, and so the ROC was out. Initially, many countries recognized the ROC as China. In 1971, the United Nations recognized the PRC as the legitimate representative of China, replacing the ROC. Today, only 13 countries, as of 2025, officially recognize Taiwan diplomatically. A growing portion of Taiwan's population now identifies as Taiwanese rather than Chinese. Taiwan has its constitution, military, elections, and foreign policy. Operating as a de facto independent state, Chiang Kai-shek died in 1975, and a year later, Mao Zedong also died. Later, when Xi Jinping became the communist leader of China, he opened the doors of China to the external world and investments started pouring in. China has developed by leaps and bounds, improving its economy. Meanwhile, Taiwan also established a democratic government and attracted foreign investments. It became the global leader in semiconductor manufacturing. The relations between China and Taiwan improved, and people started visiting each other's countries. The economic trade also opened up. Xi Jinping forced other countries to overlook Taiwan and open their embassies in China under the One China policy. The U.S. has a long-standing security relationship with Taiwan, including providing military aid and weapons, which China views as interference. The U.S. maintains a One China policy, recognizing the PRC as the sole government of China, but also disagrees with the PRC's claim over Taiwan. The conflicts between China and Taiwan started around 1954 across the Taiwan Strait, also known as the Taiwan Strait Crisis. Chiang positioned thousands of troops on the two Taiwanese islands of Kinmen, Matsu. Mao responded by bombing these islands. The next Taiwan Strait crisis broke out 4 years later in 1958. Mao's men again tried to dislodge the soldiers deployed on these two islands. The last Taiwan Strait crisis broke out around the period of 1995 to 1996, which involved military confrontations and threats of invasion. This was triggered by missile tests conducted by China in the waters surrounding Taiwan. The United States responded by sending 2 aircraft carrier battle groups to the region. China conducts regular war exercises in the Taiwan Strait, including live fire drills to show off its strength. They are increasingly building up their ammunition stockpile and modernizing their military. China is eyeing a suitable opportunity to capture Taiwan and make it a part of the One China policy. They are building up ammunition and attack equipment. China is aware that it will be hit by sanctions, and hence they have been preparing and building up the food stockpile. They have already built up enough storage facilities to store food for 2 years for their population. Their main concern is oil. Their oil comes from Russia and the Middle East through containers. So China is already building a mega gas pipeline to Russia for an uninterrupted energy supply. The U.S. has already pledged to Taiwan its democratic existence, and any threat to its existence would be seen as a challenge against it. They have strategically built up their ports and air bases across the Pacific Ocean region for any such escalation of conflict. China is waiting and preparing itself before annexing Taiwan. They are also looking for an opportunity for America to be involved in conflicts elsewhere, like in the Middle East, so that opening up a two-front war becomes expensive and difficult for them to sustain. Any escalation from China can easily instigate the Third World War. Other countries, along with Japan, would get involved instantly. Meanwhile, Taiwan is also preparing for its defense by buying the latest military equipment. Thank you for your time and support. Please subscribe to my channel for such informative and explanatory videos on different topics.